Hello, one more time. I greet you. We are television active on Enterprise TV. So welcome to Homo Politicus, in which we interrogate issues that get thrown up by our Nigerian Federation. Today, Lagos Commissioner drops the bomb. 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval. Now, Lekki, a highbrow peninsula in Lagos State, has an area of 755 square kilometers. Established in 2006, Lekki is known for being one of the most expensive places to live in Lagos. It doubles as one of Nigeria's hottest property hubs. Now, when one of the top government officials, specifically the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Dr. Olayinka Olumide, drops a jaw-dropping howler, you wonder if he requires help from a hapless citizenry. Our man says, without betraying anything, that is, that 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval. Begs the question of how did we get to this messy pass? So where do we go from here? Shall we have a conversation, please? My discussant this morning is the affable and familiar Cyril Abaku, broadcaster, communications expert. Cyril, always a pleasure to host you. I greet you.
The joy is all mine. Thank you.
Yeah. I wonder if you are scandalized by this story in any way.
I more than am. And that is because when you subtract the assumptions from the story, whatever remains puts a heavy toll of the blame on the person now trying to play regulator or play government. The reality is that a lot of people are mere speculators. They may approach a family, buy the land, even when the family may know that those are lands that are not meant to be sold. They may go ahead to sell them. But the question in the end is, how does a government sit back over a period of 20, 30 years, wake up one morning and say that 80% of houses, you're looking at hundreds of tens of thousands of houses are out of a city's master plan. The blame couldn't be any more on the developers. The blame has squarely shifted to government itself. Because any government that turns a blind eye to people building now estates, vast acres of land, swathes of property have been developed over the years, and you wake up suddenly to say that I think that the right place to have taken the matter from shouldn't even be, Tokunbo Wahab is commissioner. I don't know why he's suddenly waking up to say these things.
No, Tokunbo Wahab, commissioner for what?
Urban development in Lagos.
No, but the name I have here is different.
Oloyinka Olumide.
Yeah.
Two of them are involved in this matter. But from what I get, so Tokunbo
Dr.
Wahab,
Olayinka
yes,
Olumide.
Yes. So, yes. Sorry, Tokunbo Wahab is commissioner for the environment. Oloyinka Olumide is commissioner for urban development.
So he's more the man.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. He's more the man in the mirror. But where the matter should, where we ought to take the conversation off from now, is that the government should have looked inwards, okay, and asked itself some very salient questions. Ideally, there should even be a parliamentary inquiry into how government turned a blind eye, how government didn't know that this was going on or had gone on for so long, and is waking up suddenly overnight to try to turn people into homeless residents of Lagos State.
Yes, sir, but I'm surprised in this connection that you think somebody should not be kicked.
I don't think somebody should be kicked. If anybody should be kicked, it should be people who have worked. So in Lagos, for example, and this is Lagos, right? You have the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development. So they are there. It depends on how the governor wants the
So which ministry grants approval, building approval?
It is the ministry I've just told you about, urban development, housing. And these people have agencies. There's LAPSCA, for example. LAPSCA is the Lagos State Building Control Agency. They are the ones who come and mark a house. They use red paint.
Stop work.
And everywhere I have seen, the only thing I always see them do is simply to come and say, stop work. Citizen Jones, if there were 10 developments on the street, and on all of them, you come and say, stop work, I find it a bit horrible, really.
If not scandalous.
That the only time you hear from LAPSCA is when they come and say, stop work. There must be something that perennially drives developers away from first going to seek approval.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it right anyway.
It doesn't.
But that we are waking up today to say 80%. That's a scandal on the government, not on the people.
But hold on. For a country that's notorious, has a notorious tendency, what the Englishman call penchant or habitual liking for not punishing bad behavior or wrongdoing, isn't it possible to tie this story, 80% of Lekki buildings have no approval, to tie it to building collapses? We have had a litany of them.
So perhaps, but not necessarily. I'll give an example. The development in Lekki hasn't been on for more than, let's say, maximum 30 years, if we want to stretch it really for 40. Lekki began to witness that this uptick from the late 90s to the early, to where we are now, right? That's one. But a lot of the building collapses have not even happened in Lekki. They've happened on the island and on the mainland.
Why I threw that in is we have not punished anybody for building collapses. So what should we do for this?
Exactly. And let's even come home, right? Even for building.
So as I asked, where do we go from here?
Frankly speaking, government should just not do. They shouldn't go this route, because it now looks to me that they are trying to bite more than what they can really chew. Even if 80% of the houses in Lekki, or even let's even say 50 or 40, didn't obtain permission before they were built, can this government of Governor Sanwo-Olu address them all before they leave office? It's not possible. So why kick up a dean that you know you cannot cater for or cater to? Why should you do that? In my view, what government ought to do, and this is not just for Lekki, a lot of how I would like to think that up to 90% of housing in Lagos has defects. Are defective? It's true. There was a time I went house hunting. I wanted to move house. You wouldn't believe the place the agent had the front to take me to. It was all skeleton. I said, "Did you bring me to this place?" He said, "No, he just wanted me to see."
To see what?
I don't know.
See the rot.
But that is dilapidation of the worst order. You know, and yes, it is. People are living in those houses. I think that.
Yeah, you might. Just the other day, we hear people live in shanties, under bridges, and so on. So I'm not surprised.
No, Lagos clearly has a housing crisis, but I don't think that telling us 80% of people in Lekki have the houses illegally erected doesn't look like you are working towards a solution to the problem. I think that what they ought to do now is to sit back and reassess the so-called master plan. Lagos apart, Ibadan has the same problem. A lot of the cities, even Abuja, our capital, at a point I had to deal with that issue. In spite of those demolitions, you know, they've gone back to build big houses in those same places. So clearly, this is a national challenge. But again, if you look at where Lagos is coming from, after the last election, when we began to hear top officials of the government say that they were going to take back their land from non-indigens, we had all those, and then the next thing, Ajawa Estate, Computer Village, and all these places. Now, people will also ask, the population of Lekki, what is the population of Lekki like? Are you targeting certain language communities? Or you are really interested in dealing with a problem for its own sake. What I think government ought to do is, if indeed, excuse me, if indeed you want to remodel a city or remodel any particular location, you must provide equal and proportionate alternatives for those to be so affected before you can now, what's it called? Before you can think of moving into bulldozers to demolish. Because a lot of these places in Lekki and places like that, when you want to buy land, they will tell you it's global C of O, which means that they've gone to the government and obtained documentation. If for any reason any of those houses was built with documentation from government, then government ought to look and first of all punish those among them who issued those permits before they think of going to blow a dog whistle just to harass or intimidate.
To make matters worse, an official in giving something close to a reason for the morass says Lekki Peninsula's master plan got distorted post-2010 due to rapid development with newer estates sidestepping the old regulations. So again, whose fault?
Exactly. So what they need to do is to simply, and the labs can go there, the labs can, or any relevant agencies go there and put stop work. And if they did, after they put the notice, what will happen? Because what I know, normally if they put that stop work and you continue, they will seal that place up and you dare not open it. They should look at the people who have been collecting bribes. If really that is, I mean, because now you've opened up a deal, we can look at
we are in a mess.
We are in
a big mess.
They should look at their own agents and officials and ask them when this house was, because you will be amazed. Even if you're building a house on water, you wake up one day and see that they've come to put stop work. You know, these people have their eyes and ears everywhere. No matter where you're developing the property, they will come. You always see them put stop work. And I wonder, how is it that almost every developer has the same problem? Because people will tell you that if you go to them first, you never build any house. You must go and first of all start. Yeah, ask people.
That's crazy.
And that's, but it doesn't say, it says that's like saying that the problem is more with the regulator than it is with the developers. Because they'll tell you, don't go to government to just start your building first, let them come. You know how you're going to sort them out. There are even agents, go-betweens, who has made it a duty all by themselves to stand between developers and
let me rub this in. We are to know that the Lekki Peninsula had a master plan which was originally launched when now President, then Governor of Lagos State, was in power. It continued that way until the government of Babatunde Fashola. We are not sure anything is happening anymore.
No, what they should do, right? But I'm even wondering, sorry, before I go there, I was wondering, what was the sudden enthusiasm for? Or where did they discover the sudden passion or desire now to go after people who have developed property? Not that it is right, but for people to build legally. But I'm wondering, where did it come from? Anywhere it came from, it's good. Like they say, better late than never, right? But then, bringing the matter more into perspective, can the House of Assembly, Lagos House of Assembly, open up proceedings, an inquiry?
Investigate this
yes, of course,
matter.
of course. And say what went wrong and at what point did what go wrong go wrong? Because like Achebe said, if you don't ask yourself where did it begin to beat you, it will be difficult for you to come out of it. So they need to do that. This whole matter can begin and end with government fair and square. They need to ask themselves, at what point were these approvals given? If you go and buy a house, do you think that the owners of the properties won't give you documentation? They'll give you documentation. And they're saying it is Lekki, Ibeju, Lekki, and that right up the way to Ekpe. That's humongous. I thought Lagos State prided itself as the home of housing tourism.
Yeah.
And so if this very thing on which you stand has now become a hoax.
All right. See, as a growing boy, I remember in this same Lagos, there was a town planning authority towns were planned. For instance, Surulere, as we know it today, used to be known as New Lagos. And people, those of us who lived downtown Bariga and Shomolu, used to go to take a look-see, peep at what was going on. I'm talking about Surulere, Akerele, Alaji Masha, those areas were planned. I don't think Lekki was planned.
No, but what we are seeing or hearing now is that post 2010 was when things went haywire.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. Let me explain. I think that Lekki is the poster boy of the rapacious, insidious, insatiable greed for grabbing. Because majority of the land, can you afford to buy even a plot in Lekki now? Majority of the landowners in Lekki are not civil servants and common people. It is the very elite.
Yeah.
It is either they want to move ownership of the lands from current owners to cronies of cronies, or they are looking for a way to dislodge people and maybe make more money from them and then keep quiet.
Yeah.
But I cannot believe that, in all sincerity, this is something that they got. Look at Governor Sanwo-Olu's themes agenda. They say themes plus transport, I think hospitality, the environment. I've forgotten what the other S is for. The M. I can't remember. Themes, really. I'm not sure the governor was very heavy on
again,
housing.
this is a government that's planning a greater Lagos. It's a dream, but with this development, that dream appears to be a part one.
It doesn't look like they are really looking to open, because if you're opening up, you stretch your arms wide. But with what I'm seeing now, they are now moving back into the hinterland or back into the middle to look for what is not missing. I find, like I told you, it is either they want to move the ownership of those places from.
But even that, what you're saying reminds me of the old Morocco of Yor.
That's a long time ago. Yeah.
Trying to move people out of Morocco that gave way to this new
expansion.
Yeah, was like watching an epic. It was a drama.
We've seen these things before, and we're seeing it again now.
So something perhaps is in the offing.
Yes, like I said, anybody that has land in Lekki, or that has sold land in Lekki, or that has power to buy land in Lekki, is not a street boy.
Have you been told that this Lekki we are talking about copiously is a land sitting on a water trough?
Yes.
It could get invaded
anytime.
Submerged anytime.
By the hand of nature.
Of nature.
Of course.
Of course, we are told that nature can, in minutes, damage what you have used years to.
Centuries to build.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a possibility. As a matter of fact, I've had friends who say, if it's Lekki alone, then they won't rather. It's like saying if it's Lekki alone, they'd rather not have housing.
Cyril, I'm very sorry. Production is saying we should wind up. Okay. So can you do so in 60 seconds, beginning from now?
Yes. Now, what the government should do is that it should look back inwards and address its own wounds, and not pass on the consequence of its own incompetence on innocent home buyers and homeowners. In the end, we ask ourselves, those who are original owners of land, to those who even have the power to sell those lands, are all government themselves or friends of government. So, except that they want to tell us what they really want to do. Is it that they want to move the lands from their current owners to their preferred owners? What are they seeking to do? I don't think that there's any justice that I seek with what they're trying to do. There must be something more secretive, more hidden that they're trying to achieve. And that does not work well for anybody in the end.
All right, folks, we will apply the brakes here, but not before reminding you that government exists to solve problems anywhere on the planet, no less so here. For the Lagos state government, we are looking at climbing a steep hill. If you tell me in 2024 that 80% of Lekki buildings have no approvals, we are putting poor me and poor Cyril in a quandary. We wish government well. We're out of here, and so on behalf of the Backroom Boys, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein, saying bye-bye now, take care. Until the next time. Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.